What if the voice calling your name wasn't human? It was 2 a.m. Emma sat alone in her tiny apartment, surrounded by silence. The faint ticking of the clock and the low hum of the fridge were the only sounds keeping her company. She had stayed up late finishing work on her laptop, her tired eyes begging for rest. As she finally shut her laptop and leaned back on the couch, she heard it, a soft, barely audible whisper.
Emma.
Her body stiffened. She sat perfectly still, straining her ears.
Did I imagine that?
He thought, her heartbeat quickening. She glanced at the dark corner of the living room, the shadowy park, where her lamp's light didn't reach. Nothing. Shaking her head, she laughed nervously.
I must be exhausted.
She muttered, standing to head to bed, but as she took a step forward, she heard it again.
Emma, come here.
His time. It was clearer. It wasn't her imagination. Emma's breath hedged as fear gripped her.
Hello? Who's there?
She called out, her voice shaky. Silence answered her. She grabbed her phone and turned on the flashlight, pointing it at the corner. The beam of light seemed to vanish into the darkness, as if the shadows were swallowing it whole. The air in the room felt heavy, pressing down on her chest. Her phone buzzed suddenly, breaking the silence. She almost dropped it in shock. A call. The screen lit up with the words, "Mom calling." Relief washed over her.
Thank God.
She whispered, quickly answering the call.
Mom?
That the voice on the other end wasn't her mother's.
Emma, why did you answer?
Her blood ran cold. It was the same whisper, but now it was louder, closer, and mocking. The call disconnected, and her phone screen went black. Emma stood frozen, clutching the phone tightly. Then she heard the whisper again, this time, all around her.
Emma, come closer. Let me see you.
Her legs felt like jelly, but she forced herself to move. She bolted toward the door, fumbling with the lock, but it wouldn't budge. The whisper grew louder, angrier. The lights in the apartment began to flicker. Then, the power went out. In the pitch-black room, Emma's phone cast a faint glow. She turned it toward the corner, her hands shaking uncontrollably. That's when she saw it. Two glowing red eyes stared back at her from the darkness. They didn't blink, didn't move, just watched her. A low growl echoed through the room, sending chills down her spine. Her phone screen flickered, and a single message appeared.
You shouldn't have answered.
The phone slipped from her hand, shattering on the floor. Emma backed up against the wall, her eyes glued to the red orbs as they started moving toward her. The whisper returned, louder than ever.
Emma, you can't leave now.